Hey, welcome to the check-in.
With the check-in twins.
We're the check-in twins.
So, we gotta get something out the way first.
Yes.
If you are having any mental health emergencies or issues, suicidal ideation, know that we are not medical or mental health professionals. So if you need to hit this hotline, that is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Give them a call, give them a text if you need to.
And one other thing, just a disclaimer, we are grown women, and sometimes we'll use some sentence enhancers to express ourselves, some explicit language. So it's not necessarily meant for the children. They could listen, they could learn. But sorry, mom, dad, pastor.
Also, while we shouting everybody out, why don't you follow us on our socials? Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter
at the Check-in Twins. All of them.
Come check in with us.
Come check in with us. Welcome to the check-in.
Check in with the Cosmic Twins.
Welcome to the check-in.
Check in with the Cosmic Twins.
Okay.
So, guys, on this episode, we're going to talk about...
What are we going to talk about?
Navigating the healthcare system with mental health issues. Droogs.
Comrade. Oh, yes. Sorry.
It's okay. I want to keep it short.
Oh, yeah. Short and sweet.
Okay, so... Fran, is it okay if I go ahead and get it started?
I mean, why don't you go ahead and tell me how you doing it?
Okay. So, I have very limited experience with mental health drugs. Mm-hmm. So, I have already told y'all my terrible experience. So, if you have not heard my long story and you got time today and you stuck in traffic or, got to babysit some kids you don't like, whatever, go ahead and listen to the self-diagnosis episode, and you can hear the long story of how I got the drugs that I got. But I was prescribed Celexa, and honestly, it worked immediately for me. Now, I know that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've ever talked to about my experience with this drug was like, no, they do not work that fast. It takes several weeks for them to kick in. But when I tell you, within 2 days, I felt happy as a clam.
It was possibly a bout of manic.
That's what my behavioral therapist said. He said either this is having a placebo effect on you, which I was like, if I could will my brain to be happy, we would not be here. I'm pretty sure it's not a placebo effect.
I would never gone through what I went through.
But it is likely that I was a bit manic. Mm-hmm. My honey muffin would agree. Yeah. But I was happy. Like I was so happy. I was so happy. Yeah. The initial side effect that I had when I first started taking it was I could not go to sleep, which it supports the theory that I was manic. Yeah. You just have happy energy. You don't go to sleep because you're happy. And it took me a really long time. I was told to take it before going to bed. Yeah. So, because it had a sedative kind of effect to it, I did not feel that the first 2 weeks. It took a really long time for my body to get used to it enough for me to sleep at night. But that was really the only side effect I had. I have heart palpitations normally. And I did read that some people have heart issues with Celexa. So the first week I did have a lot more heart palpitations, but that's my regular. So I'm just fine. Hey, if my heart stopped, then my depression's cured. but it went away. So I wanted to give my body time to adjust. Yeah. If things were getting worse, then of course I would have called my PCP and been like, hey, I don't think this is a good drug for me. But
this ain't it, bruv.
Everything pretty much worked out. I have not had really as severe a depressive episode since I've been taking it. I've been taking it since February. And the plan is, because of how severe my depression was and how long I had felt that way, they have me on a plan to take this drug once every day for a year. And at that year point, they will start weaning me off the drug. If I'm not getting worse or having any issues, then they'll, take it from 20, I think it's 20 milligrams right now. They'll take me from 20 to 10 to nothing, and I'll be done. So, which is great, because I always thought, like, I was so scared about medicine because I'm like, I don't want to have to be on medication forever. And they also don't want me to be on medication forever. So I was very pleased with the way that they explained everything to me. I've been very pleased with how the drug has worked for me. I really don't have any complaints. I think my body has fully adjusted to the medication at this point. So I do still have episodes of, little depression here and there, but that's usually around my cycle. So my hormones, depression is not going to do much for my hormones. So
they're the worst.
It really is. But for the most part, like, A-okay. Like, on the first shot, they did good by me. So let me ask you, friend.
Yes.
How has your experience been?
My experience. So the whole time you were talking, I was thinking of that Life Jennings songs where he's like, must be nice. Because my experience has been trash. So medication, oh my God. Medication has been an uphill battle for me. At first, I wasn't really fully on board with it. I had the same fears as you. I was like, I don't want to be on something for the rest of my life. Because I already have, like, life-saving medicine that I have to take forever. So it's just like, I don't want to take more medicine. But I am tired of feeling like beetle dung. So I'm going to do this, and we are going to make it work.
Make it work.
So my first drug of choice, and I take all generic brands because I'm poor. So
I take the generic stuff too, but I don't ever remember the generic name.
I don't remember the names at all. But essentially, what I first took, I was first prescribed Zoloft. And I took Zoloft in 2017, 2018. It was okay. But after a couple of days, I had the wildest headaches. Like, my ears were ringing.
Oh.
It was so uncomfortable. I thought I was going to have an aneurysm on my couch in my apartment by myself. Like, I was scared. So I told my doctor immediately. I was like, nah, this ain't it, bruv. I feel better. I do feel better. But, like, I don't want to be in pain to feel better.
Trading, like, mental anguish for physical anguish.
Nah, that ain't it. So, she switched me to Lexapro, and Lexapro is a marvelous little drug. However, it didn't work. So, it, like, plateaued. It helped a lot with my anxiety. Like, I chilled out when I was on Lexapro. No more Target parking lot hyperventilations for me. But with my depression, and a lot of these antidepressants, they're actually like anti-anxiety medications. So they'll help with both your depression and anxiety, depending on the neurotransmitters they affect. But with the Lexapro, for my depression, it really just plateaued. And it did so for a long time. And I was on it for so long because I was afraid to change because my experience with my prior medication was so bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to deal with, like, the side effects of a new medication because I had no side effects with Lexapro at all. Nothing. It just wasn't really helping my depression. So I was trying to, like, fight through it, like, suffer through it. I was like, okay, maybe there's extra things I could do to, help my depression, give me a little bit of that serotonin that I'm not getting, get a little bit of that dopamine.
Lock it.
Yeah, so I just tried doing stuff, I tried changing my external environments to see if it could change my mental state. And it just didn't help.
Yep.
I felt like I was literally, what's that other expression? I'm not good with expressions today. Like running uphill in stilettos. That's how I felt with Lexapro.
Okay. We're going to get all the new sayings from this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like you're running uphill in stilettos?
Try not taking Lexapro. So... Just kidding. So, and on top of that, I have a plethora of sleep problems. Undiagnosed. I've done a sleep study. They don't really know what's wrong with me. The best they could give me was your circadian rhythm, which is my internal clock. It's off. It's like, it's backwards. And I'm like, bitch, I know that. Like,
You know, the first time I heard that term?
circadian rhythm.
SpongeBob. They tell you cartoons don't teach you nothing.
They teach you everything.
But keep going.
Yeah, so my circadian rhythm is flipped. So I am essentially a nocturnal human.
That's cool.
No,
I mean, not functional, but it is kind of cool.
It's not functional. So when I say I'm not a morning person, I mean that with my whole heart.
Like her biology supports that she's not a morning person.
Physiologically, it hurts to wake up in the morning for me. So, Lexapro wasn't really helping with my sleep. So my doctor was like, all right, so boom. So you could take this other medicine called mirtazapine, right? Mirtazapine is like a sedative antidepressant, but I'm a low dose it, right? So you don't even get the antidepressant effects. You just get the sedative. And I'm like,
okay.
All right, that's fine. I don't care. I just want to go to sleep. So I'm taking mirtazapine at night, and it's bomb. Like,
whoop, whoop.
Mirtazapine will knock you out. Ambien who?
We don't know her.
Yeah, it's great. And I feel better when I wake up in the morning. Mm-hmm. Then I shifted from Lexapro to now I'm on Prozac. And Prozac so far hasn't caused me any problems.
Okay.
No symptoms. I'm seeing slight improvement in mood. Definitely that I'm no longer at that plateau with my depression. But my anxiety's back. And I'm just tired of like trading one thing for the other.
Your mental health is like a Rubik's Cube. You know when you get like, oh cool, I got the whole side blue, and you look at the rest of it, you're like,
oh damn, there's other colors that I need to figure out. Yeah, that's my brain. So my brain just wants to be a ball of anxiety, and honestly, if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick being anxious all the time over depressed. I'm not advocating for any type of...
And I never had a panic attack. I remember during one of our games, cheerleading, and I think we were playing Pilates or one of those schools that be fighting us all the time.
Yeah, one of them private school rivalries.
Remember like the incident that happened when the one like kid from the other school called one of our seniors a nigga. And they started fighting, and there's a girl on the squad. She started having a panic attack, and I was just like, what is you not even you? We over here and they over there.
Damn, girl.
And then I had a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, not then, fast forward to after depression.
Oh yeah.
I had my first panic attack. When I tell you I was so confused, I thought I was having an allergic reaction. I was like, I can't breathe. I'm allergic to... Like, I just woke up. What am I allergic to? It made no sense. My honey muffin was there, and he was Googling away. Honey, I think you're having a panic attack. And then I panicked more. I'm sorry, I never told you this, but it did make me panic more. I'm sorry, I love you. But and then I got even more scared because I was like, why am I panicking? I don't understand. Like, it was the worst feeling ever. Like depression is you feel nothing, and anxiety is you feel everything.
I'd
it's
rather
just like
feel everything.
Can we get a happy middle ground?
No. Any given day, I would pick my anxiety because it's just like I physically get sick when I'm anxious, so I could use that as an excuse to sleep.
That is true.
So I'm just like my stomach hurts, and that's my anxiety is in my stomach. Like if I ever bailed on you, I was probably highly anxious and did not want to leave because my Tummy was turning and was like, hey, we don't like this, we feel attacked. We don't like this, we feel attacked. We are going to revolt. Revolt.
See, my anxiety's in my lungs and my heart. It's just like, these vital things you need to live. Yeah. We're going to set up shop here. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll die. That's fine. It's cool. I feel like I'm dying. Okay,
but
fine.
My depression is like an 18-wheeler filled with all the food that I'm allergic to, running over me, reversing, and then doing it again. That's how my depression feels.
I can't do side effects, but I tried.
So yeah, I get exhausted from that. I'm just like, I'm tired of getting hit by this truck. Like, can you stop? I'm allergic to your supplies. Like, please. And then the driver is like, no, I'm not gonna stop. And then it just keeps going.
So my depression is like Hunter x Hunter fans. I'm coming for you right now.
Here we go.
So there's a dude in Hunter x Hunter. His name is Kite, and his power is like he has this like little like what's that thing? Like a
horn?
No.
Horn.
No, like a casino's slot machine. So he has a slot machine, and then it gives him a weapon. Okay. He has no control over the slot machine. So if he's in a tight spot, he got to fight. He's just hoping he gets the right. I feel like that's what my depression is. Okay. Like how severe do you want it today? Let's see. Level 10. Oh no! Not 10. Are we making you giggle?
Our audio engineer is dying right now. No pun intended, but I'm tasteless. Okay.
But yeah, okay. So back to drugs. Back to drugs.
Okay, so we talk about our prescription drugs.
We do.
So, friend, I have to ask you. Comrade, do you take anything else to alleviate your pain?
I don't, but I'm a name drop this person. Her name is Allie, so she be doing a lot, right? I'm whole name out there, Allie. Sorry, I get you for this girl. So Allie or whatever, she was out there. I need everybody to get it together because I'm telling you Allie's business, and this is very important.
Okay. Tell us Allie's business.
Allie was out there, living her life. She's just struggling.
Yeah.
Everybody's struggling, right? And then Allie, was, introduced to something that Allie had never done before. Right. Allie, ran into this dude. He said he was going to trip sit for Allie.
Right.
And Allie went on a trip. She did. She popped a tab and she went on a trip.
So Allie was like Alice in Wonderland.
She was. And you know what Allie's experience was?
What?
Glorious. It was glorious. So she says. And it was like literally taking like a happy pill.
Yeah.
And granted, that pill lasts for a very long time, and Allie did not know she was not going to be able to sleep that night.
Yeah.
Allie had a very hard time with that because Allie really enjoys sleep.
Yeah.
But everything else that she experienced that day, it was like having, how does she put this? It was like having 3-4 months of mental progress in like an hour.
Wow.
So.
Wow. We are about to get rained on. That's crazy.
That is the sky angry with me telling Allie's business. I'm sorry, girl. I got to put you out there, though. So. She really enjoyed it. She was able to get through a lot of her mental hurdles. And this is before, Allie got any like really decent help with her mental issues. Yeah. So this was like a good little
teaser into the other side.
Like a little pick me up for her. So she did that. Okay. She's also dabbled in the herbals. But she didn't have as good of an experience as she did with the tab.
And that's a whole experience that I feel like we can go into a new episode with.
Yeah.
Like that that can in itself be an episode of just explaining. We should just call it the Tripsit series, honestly.
The Tripsit.
Tripsit.
But you, friend, let me ask you.
So you'll talk about Ali.
Mm-hmm.
I know this girl named AJ, like Ali and AJ from Disney.
Aww.
I know this girl named AJ, and
I'm sure they're best friends.
Oh yeah, I think they're really close. AJ likes herbal supplements.
Takes her Wheaties in the morning.
But it's interesting because AJ's first experiences were horrifying.
Oh, what made AJ go back to that then? I'm confused.
AJ got introduced, I think the same person.
Oh.
Introduced AJ to something that was calming.
Oh.
Like, AJ needs a calming herb, not a cracky herb. Okay? So there's a lot of people out there that like that cracky herb. And AJ does not like that because I don't want to feel my veins pumping blood. I don't like that. It freaks me out. So, I mean, AJ. So
I'm about to pee on myself.
So, yeah, it was like, it took a couple of years to, like, get into her flow.
Okay.
And liking, like, understanding what she likes, what she doesn't like. Also being more knowledgeable about the herbal substances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are a lot of people that just go out there and buy.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ does research.
Like, I know this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear on everything, he should just quit his job and just be a professor in Droogs.
Droogs.
Because he knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. Like, I think about scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, hey, what would happen and blah, 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 blah. And he'd be like, oh, this, woo, 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 this, that's going to happen. I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? And then I'm like, you know what? Don't tell me. It's fine. We don't need to go down that. That's not my
basis.
Yeah, it's not my
honestly.
business. But
yeah, it's basically AJ's feels euphoric. It's a moment of euphoria when AJ ingests the herbal supplements, and but she's cognizant of the fact that she doesn't want to be dependent on that. Now, AJ is a firm believer that there are no addictive qualities in herbal substances. However, there are bad habits, and everything is good in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you just like a chimney 24/7,
maybe we need to discuss
talk
some
about
things.
that. Yeah, like that's why don't you want to be sober? Like,
let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this.
Let's check in. So, AJ keeps things in moderation, just like a slight little puff, every once in a while, but also taking a break. Because it's important to take a break and have clarity and just sit into your feelings as they are.
Right.
Just be one with yourself. Sober.
Ali is very much every few months.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little vacation.
Just a little vacation.
It's a little check-in.
A little check-in.
Also, that is just... What Ali does is not something you can do daily.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
It actually, and there is a series, I think, what is it, the Explain series?
There's an Explain series, and there's also a Have a Good Psychedelic Trip.
Yeah, so there's a lot of information out there. Because there's so much stigma with,
Oh, yeah.
Especially here in America, where there was the war on drugs.
But the opioid epidemic, that's crazy. That's not a war on drugs.
That's not part of the war.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. That's not a weapon of mass destruction.
No.
That's wild.
Wild?
Wild. That's what that is.
But back to Ali. Ali can't do anything of that nature because the effect of it would be minuscule. So it's just a little like maybe quarterly thing.
Yeah.
Even if that, because sometimes, Ali be good.
And honestly, alcohol is the poison here, if we're really being honest.
Let me tell you, I am fighting my body right now because my body is like, look, you did way too much last night, and we're upset with you. We're upset with you. When your body has to tell you you've had too much poison and it sends it back up, that's when you know you've done too much.
See,
like,
that's an experience exclusive to alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, I've never gotten to that point. I mean, AJ has never gotten to that point with any other substance.
Allie has never either. Allie just eats fruit. She's a fruit bat, and she watches animals, and she eats fruit, and she minds her business, and she's very talkative.
AJ does yoga. AJ will meditate, make a cup of tea, possibly take a nap, but maybe just sit there and start reading a book. Like,
I respect AJ and Allie. I think we need to be more like them.
Honestly, they sound
Allie and
great.
AJ for president.
Allie and AJ 2020.
Hey.
Kanye who? All right, so we told you we keep it short and sweet because the first part in this series was very long.
It was hefty.
So we might circle back to this drug conversation, trips and sits. That might be another series. But yeah, do what you need to do to keep your mental in check.
Yeah. So, and do your research.
Yeah, do your research.
Just like anything, what may be a good fit for you may not be a good fit for another person. I know, I think Allie and AJ had swapped things, and AJ did not take very well to Allie's enjoyments.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
Do what works for you.
What works for one may not work for the other.
And my experience with Celexa, first thing out the gate worked well for me, but like my twin.
Yeah, Celexa was not advised for me.
And a lot of things did work, but it's trial and error with mental health. So take care of yourself and do your best. And we just gonna jump into this next segment.
Next segment is a trigger warning. Ooh,
trigger.
We've hit a roadblock. Let's just pick something from the list.
All right, so
unscripted.
Jumping into our trigger warning.
Trigger warning?
Trigger warning.
Next episode, we're going to talk about tattoo therapy.
That sounded like Johnny Bravo. Man, I'm pretty.
Do the monkey with me.
Yeah, like my twin has said, we're going to talk about tattoo therapy next time, next episode. So.
It's going to be oodles of fun. It's going to be lighthearted. To give you guys a break, an emotional break from these sensitive topics.
Yeah, so stay with us, ride with us.
Stay with us, ride with us, check it with us.
Check it.
And remember, life is a bitch.
Yeah.
That doesn't take her medication.
Doesn't take her medication and be policing everybody else about taking their medication. But the whole time, though, she don't remember and she refuses to set an alarm on her phone.
And, sometimes life be like, oh, I don't need this medication. And then, she just goes off on people.
Or, yup.
Don't let that bitch ruin your day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember, be kind.
Be kind to yourself. Be beautiful and be kind to others.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, check in with us, guys.
All right. Bye, little galaxy. See you next week.